What's poppin', y'all? We back with the Squid Games Aftermath podcast. I am your host, DeAndre Player 288, and I have the privilege of having someone in from Germany. He is one
Yeah.
of the most, flexible slash, I'm running out of words. See, I lost the words for how many things this man does, man. His description speaks for itself, but I'm gonna read it for you anyways. He speaks several languages fluently, likes to box and play chess, and hope the universe would have been on his side and would have done whatever it took to win. It sounds like, past tense. Even
It
if he
does
had to
sound
go
like
without coffee and cigarettes in the meantime. Man, how you doing, man? We got man Tayo up in here, man. We got our man Tayo, player
what's up,
number
guys?
192.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man, I've been doing really good. I'm just excited that the show came out, and also I'm very happy that I'm like the only German representative, because yeah, apparently I'm the only one from Germany who took part in this, and yeah, I feel very proud about it and enjoyed the show and everything.
Yeah, the only German representative in the show, as far as we know, from the people who didn't make it past or did make it past red light, green light. So we don't, you might be another one in there, but we they left them in the dark a little bit, which is kind of
Actually, I was lying. Like, I mean, there is one more German participant, but like she got eliminated in red light, green light. So I was, yeah. You
she
you
got
caught me
she got
there.
sent to the
You got
slot.
me
She
there.
got okay. I got. See, I knew there was two of them now.
Yeah.
Okay, we look. Those people matter too. Everyone matters, but it's like the only German person who got in the game.
Exactly. Like I truly got in the game. Like she was in the game, but like I got in the game, like
Exactly, exactly. So you the lone soldier up in here. Well, man,
yes,
can
sir.
we gonna dive right into it real quick. Can you tell me why you decided to apply for Squid Games the challenge?
Yeah, man. Like so I had my own show where I talked about like up and coming stuff for a brand. And then we were talking about this. There's this thing called Red Squid Game, the challenge, where you can like win $4.56 million. So I was like, man, that sounds nice. Like so honestly speaking, I was there for the money, man. Like I just wanted to win the 4.56 million. Yeah, I would say money was my motivation for sure. And I feel like a lot of people judge people when they say like I love money and they hear like money is everything to me, which I'm not saying. I'm just saying money is nice, and yeah, I would say that was the motivation behind it.
Hey, the money's the motivation, man. It gotta be, or else what you doing here, coach? I mean, well, there was some people there not for the money, so let me not say that. But
Yeah.
but I agree. I'm there for the money too, and that's all on my mind. I don't
Right?
care about the. I told the producers, look, even if there was no cameras and y'all had this game going on a desert island, nobody would watch it. I would still do it.
100%. What facts? Like, wait, were there people who weren't in there for the money?
I ain't gonna put nobody's name out there, but there was some people in there with ulterior motives. I will say.
That's cap, bro. No way. Really?
Okay, I'm not saying they weren't there for the money, but they had other things in mind other than the money. You know,
Okay. I mean, like the exposure
like
also.
like yes, exposure. That's essentially what.
Exposure. Yeah, yeah. I
So
mean,
that's another whole thing, which is fine. You get that. That can bring money in as well. But there was, I mean, I think it was kind of obvious, if you were there solely for the money, because some people, they named the game as, kind of just wheeze your way through there without going too crazy. Or you had other endeavors. Regardless, I'm fine with anybody wanting either thing. It's none of my business what anyone else wants. Kudos to you. But my man Tile had his mind on the money, and this is about Tile. So you
yes.
got your mind on the money. You apply for the show. They say you accepted, and then it's coming down to the time where you're about to leave home and head out. What's kind of going through your mind the last night you're packing up and getting ready to head out?
Dude, so I had a long distance relationship and I was with her, and one thing was like, oh, it's gonna be tough not seeing her for like a long time. But then also in my mind, I thought like, hey, I'm gonna manifest this shit. Like I'm just gonna see myself win, which probably if like everyone is do which probably everyone did. So like there probably might have been like a mind interference, I'd say, where everyone was trying to compete for the top manifestation spot. So I was I was trying to feel as if I would have won already. So I was feeling pretty confident, man, and like comfortable. I was like, I got this. Like I can already feel the M's in my bank account. You know.
This man said he's the winner. What y'all doing here? Get out my way and give me the bag, coach. This is like, come on now. What competition? I'm my
Yeah, I
only
was.
competition.
Yeah, like I was feeling very confident. Like it sounds very delusional now looking back at it, but like I was definitely in my mind, yeah, feeling very good and
I mean,
very
you
prepared.
picture what you want, man, and that's important. I think you got to picture the reality that you hope to have, and you having
Yeah.
that mindset is very powerful because
Mhm.
some people are like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna win. I know you've heard that probably from some people, and I heard it like, oh, I'm not gonna win. I'm just trying to do my best. I was like, no, 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 that
Yeah.
ain't even the case. I'm winning this. Period.
Yeah, exactly. And but wait, um, no, sorry, I forgot what I wanted to ask you.
It's okay. We'll come back to you soon. So feel free to
Yeah.
also interrupt me whenever you need to if it comes back to your mind when it comes.
Okay.
But so you got your mind on the money on your mindset, Rick Ross style, and you ready up in the Squid Game. So when it's time to, we're getting on the bus to head out to the first game. It's bright and early in the morning, and we can see it's going to be red light, green light from a peripheral from where our tents are at. But when you finally walk in there, what's kind of going through your mind when you're getting into the arena?
Wait, did you know that the games were gonna be the exact same ones
I
from the
mean, it's
show?
obvious.
Dude, I
Did you not
sorry,
watch
wait.
the show?
Dude, because I thought that like it's gonna be similar games, so I didn't even practice a single game. You know, like I was, yeah, man. Like, my bad. Like, I was feeling very good because I did practice. I did like mental games, puzzle games to keep my mind sharp. You know, because I was like, I'm prepared for anything they're gonna throw at me. And wait, sorry, what was the question? How did I feel when I knew it
So
was gonna be red light, green light?
what was your mind walking in there and you see a whole setup and whatnot?
Dude, I was feeling so freaking confident because um I thought the challenge was gonna be to know when they're gonna stop because I'm half Korean, so 무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다. I thought it's like a huge advantage if I know the sentence, you know, because I could like.
Hey, coach.
So I was like, man, I got this. I'm sweet, bro. Like, cause I know the words, and not knowing it's gonna the challenge was just completely different beast because we had to stand in there and keep the same position for like what felt like an eternity, you know, in the with minus Celsius degrees and like but dude, initially I felt amazing.
Wow, he was feeling good on his toes,
Yeah, dude.
because the name of the game was the listen to the sound, not the doll's head, but listen to the music, start and stop. So, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Wait, how are you feeling? Were you confident in the beginning?
I
Like,
was I was fine. Like I was like, look, I can do it. We did the practice. They said it was only gonna be a couple minutes in between each round. That's what they said.
right?
I can do it. I can do it. But when we started, it was a different story. So when we got going and you get your start, first off, what was your strategy with the red light, green light?
So I thought if I go laterally on my side, I will be able to, stop whenever I want. So like I thought, yeah, that's the way to go. And then,
You and me had the same exact strategy.
yes, sir, because theoretically it seemed like a very bulletproof strategy, you know.
Yep.
And then, also my strategy was because it was hella cold to just keep my hands in my pocket because like there was no way, yeah, my hands were gonna make it. If I didn't keep them in the pocket. And then, after the first stop, I was like, wait, I'm like half squatting at the moment and I'm like low key dying. And I was like, wait.
Yep. You and me was in the same exact pose, and it's like you do it for a minute, you're like, all right, I'm all right. But that second, third minute hit, your lower back start tensing up,
Dude, yeah.
starts applying. You feel like a ton is like on your back. You're shaking like a salt shaker, and that strategy went completely out the window after that. So I'm assuming that's what you were feeling, right?
Dude, that was exactly what I was feeling. And then also, I couldn't hold the laughter. I don't know. In the beginning, I was like, I was, I don't know, because it just seemed so, I don't know, bizarre that like we're playing this game, and it felt like my life was on the line. And then like we were like all just, yeah, I don't know. I was really fight like my biggest challenge in the beginning was the squatting, and then the not laughing because I thought I was gonna get eliminated if I just lose it there. So
I mean, look, I wasn't laughing. I mean, you might have been laughing at something. I don't know. I was stressing, coach. Yeah.
yeah, man. Like
Now go ahead.
so in the beginning, I was very conservative with my speed because I thought like slow and steady wins the race. But I think looking back, I could have like sped it up a little bit. Like just sprint in the beginning and then preemptively stop. But yeah, that's something that I would tell my past self
Hey, look,
because
hindsight 2020, hindsight 2020. But I have a question. So, an extra question actually. So, since you knew the song, can you sing the song for us real quick?
yeah, man. It's 무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다.
That okay? Because what does that translate to in English?
무궁화 is like I'm bad with flowers. I wouldn't even know it in my mother's tongue, which is German. 무궁화 is a flower, and the flower has blossomed. That's it.
So it just says my flower is blooming.
My flower has bloomed.
Wow, I never knew that. I mean, I
Yeah,
knew
man.
like I didn't know, and other people knew the song, so it's like you knew when like bloom starts, that's when it's time to stop, like the beat of bloom.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I didn't want to take no chances, and just yeah. I was very conservative. Like, yeah.
So the doll sang a little bit slower than that, right?
I think I remember it was way faster than what I would have imagined. Like,
It was faster, okay. Because I remember it was about 4 or 5 seconds it sang, and then it was
I
over.
guess so. It was like 무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다. Yeah, maybe like this or maybe a bit faster. I don't know. It felt pretty fast to me, to be
Because
honest.
there was
Like
an echo in there too, and so it was kind of hard to time it very like listening. I was just like take 4 steps drop because the echo kind of messed you up a little bit if you were trying to time it off the music.
true, true. Like, dude, how terrible must it have been if you were eliminated at the first stop? Like 무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다, and then you're eliminated. You're like,
I mean, I would thought it was gonna be me because my back was shaking, but I told myself, look, after you get done with this pose, don't ever get in this pose again.
yeah,
This is the last pose on the runway, and you're gonna have to find a new model pose. And my strategy kind of went out the window. So you're going through, going through, going through, you're making it through each round, and you're nearing the end and you're almost to the finish line. What's kind of going through your mind then?
dude. So I saw all these people just crossing the line. So I was high key jealous because it was so painful, and I was slowly getting also a little bit angry because I was like, "Fuck, this is my whole body is just hurting." Because when you're standing, I never knew that you would feel like I thought I'm standing straight, but then even if your left leg would be a bit more weighted, you would feel it in your hips, like every imbalance in your stance you will feel after 30 minutes. So my whole body was hurting. I was cold as I was an ice block. So I was like, I just want to go over there. So I was calculating in my head, so when can I just sprint for my life? So I was in my head, I was the whole time calculating, like, is it this time? No, 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 no. Is it the next one? And yeah, so there was just a lot of mathing going on in my head, like, when can I do it in one go? And
Yeah.
when the time came, sorry, did you want to say
Yeah, go ahead,
something?
continue.
And then yeah, I think there were like, I mean, you guys don't do meters, I know, but like there were like, I don't know, maybe 30 meters left, which if I would have gone on with if I would have proceeded with the normal speed that I was walking, it would have taken me like maybe 3 stops. But I was like, dude, if I go full speed, I can do it in one go. And I was like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna go for it. And then I was so happy. And also that bit was what made it into the trailer, where I'm like running for my dear life. So I was like, looking back, it was a good choice that I
Yeah, no, I
went for
mean,
it.
I think I had a similar instance where I was talking to someone and he was like, "You can make it," and then we're like 20, 25 meters away, and I'm thinking like, "Man, I don't want to chance this because I'm on the ground and I got to get up." But yeah, if you
Wait, why were you on the ground?
because I couldn't feel. Look, if I'm standing up, my legs shaking, my arms getting tired, my body might be swaying a little bit. I didn't trust my body to stand still, and so I needed to be on the ground where I knew I had full control of nothing moving. So that's why I was on the ground. But I can get up off the ground and run quickly, and then just dive again on the ground. So that was my strategy the whole time.
No way. That is so risky, dude. So you were like laying down?
Yeah, I just had my hand most of the time. My hand was like right this, laying down. So I had like a nice little cushion, and my hands are freezing though. My hands are freezing, my toes are freezing. But I just didn't trust myself standing up because I got up once when they said we had a break and whatnot. Like they said, relax, and I stood up. I just felt a little just uneasy, and I was like, let me just stay on the ground. Because after the first time, there was no way I'm standing up again. My back was like just don't. My back needed to relax. I didn't want it to cramp up. When you cramp up, you have to move, and I don't want to get up like cramping.
Wait, so you did the whole course after the first time laying down and then standing up and then laying down again? Dude,
Yep.
you are crazy. You have such, how does it feel to have gigantic balls? Man, that's so ballsy, man. Like I could have
I feel like
never.
that was the best strategy because you got to relax. Because I mean, if we had to get, if it was only like 5 minutes in between, then yes, I understand. Like, wow, you would do that. That's a lot of energy. But we had to stay in that spot for 15, 20 minutes of time. So I feel like it was hard. It was difficult. You
Yeah,
had to be
man.
able to get up quick, but just not fidgeting. I think that
Dude,
was my thing.
sometimes it was like even up to 40 minutes, I think.
Yeah,
Like
no, it was pretty long sometimes, coach.
it's
I'm 15
pretty
minutes
long
is
sometimes,
gracious.
man.
Yeah, no, they had us in there, like gargoyles.
Yeah, yeah, like gargoyles. I also felt like a gargoyle, man. It's...
Yeah, some people just like. Well, player 192 crosses the finish line. He completes it. Well done. He achieves his victory and on the next stage to get his $4.56 million. Everything's going according to plan at this point, except the frostbite. When you finish, and we head back to the hotel, and then you get back to the dorms, and we're about to walk in. What's kind of your first? What's your feeling like when you walk into the dorms for the first time?
So I was like, man, this is it. Like it really hit me then. Like I was, that's where I fully arrived, I think, where I was like, oh shit, like yeah, this is happening. Like we're in the dorms now. This is getting real. Like yeah, and also I was low key thinking about like, so how can I stand out to have screen time? So I was like,
So you were thinking about something other than the money.
yeah, dude, like I definitely did want to have a lot of screen time for sure. But what I also noticed is I think I got to know myself better because then I realized that I'm definitely not willing to change who I am to exchange that for more screen time. So I was like, because I'm like a very low to no drama person. So I knew at that moment like, hey, I'm not gonna cause anything or stir something up just to get more screen time. And if I don't get shown much, so be it. So it
Yeah,
was good to,
yeah,
yeah, learn that I would not sacrifice my who I am for this coverage
yeah.
thingy.
No, 100%, man. It's in the game. You said you was there for the money. You're not there for the camera. So I completely understand where you're coming from, and you standing on your morals and values, and that's all someone can ask. But unfortunately, we on TV, where morals and values kind of go out the window the second things get real. But we're early in the game. We don't have to throw everything out the window quite yet because we
Yeah.
just got in the dorms and we chilling. So we're in the dorms and you're meeting all these people. Do you get like, there's a strategy come in your head on like who to kick it with, or did you get close with a certain group because of a reason, or tell me what's going on with all these people?
So the good thing was like we were split in like 50s, uh right, so like 0 to 50, 50 to 51 to 100, and like my group, which was in the 200s to 150s, we just all kind of survived, and we were like hanging out in the tents before that, so we already had like this small group thingy going on. And like it's like going to war after the red light, green light, because we were all like pretty close to each other. It felt like we knew each other for ages, you know? And so there was a pretty strong bond already there. So it was like, I don't know, maybe we were like 10 people. And then we were like, hey, where should we go? You know, like where's our area? So we already had a pretty tight group. And yeah, we were sticking together. So there was not too much socialization apart from that going on in the beginning for me personally. And
Okay,
yeah.
staying low key, but kind of keeping the peoples around him when he needs to. Okay, I like that strategy. So when it's time to, we have the few nights in the dorm, whatnot, and the next morning we find out it's time to get in line and go to the next challenge. And so we walk into the white room. Talk to me what's going on in your mind when you walk into the white room for the first time.
Wait, did you know that we built a battery?
Huh? What?
So since we anticipated it's gonna be Dalgona, we got a needle, and then we got a battery from the, you know how we got like mic'd up, and then we had a battery switch every 6 hours. We stole one battery, and then every time we were on set, we would steal like copper wires, and then there was duct tape on the cameras, you know, everywhere, black duct tape. So we would just strip it off, and then dude, we would like go into the bathrooms and experiment with it, and like try to get the needle hot by combining the current, you know. So then it actually worked, dude. So we had like this device with the battery where we would like get the needle like fucking hot. And so then we went to production and we were like, hey, are we allowed to do this? And they had to like think about it for like a whole day, and then they said like no.
Oh, why would you rat yourselves out like that?
Dude, I don't know. Now looking back, we should have just, you know, not told them anything and just used it.
Yeah,
But
I mean, 'cause that's like a little practice, I guess you could say, for Dalgona.
yeah, man. And we thought like, you know, with because with a hot needle, we would have just smoothly cut
Oh
out
my
every shape.
gosh! Y'all was pulling the guy in the show. I forget his number. The big bully in the real show was like cheating and whatnot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, man. So I was very disappointed, you know, that we couldn't use the special thingy.
Was it getting
So what?
hot?
Sorry, what was that?
Was it getting hot?
It was getting like flaming hot, man, like lava. It was like I couldn't even touch it really. Like that was so hot,
But
dude.
there was no way you could have finessed that because they gave you the stuff and they saw it and they were walking around.
Exactly. Like so, it would have had to be boldly cheating and then hoping they wouldn't kick you out or something. I don't know.
You would have had to like have like how our sleeves are really long on our jackets,
Uh
like
huh.
cover your sleeve all the way up and kind
You
of like
are right.
and then get close. That's the only way I could see that shaking. But it's like I don't know. I mean, it could have worked. But I mean, even in the real show, they saw the dude cheat and they let him. Well, I don't know if they saw him, but he cheated and they let him fly. And so maybe you could have been that dude and like you had that story arc and that would have been something. And then the fans watching the show would have really been rooting against, like, oh my gosh, like you're gonna let him stay. That would have been good TV.
Yeah, man. But I can't take the credit here. It was definitely 194's credit. Like he, you know, the magician Neta.
Yeah, Netta. Yeah.
Yeah, it was his idea. Like I was just, you know, tagging along.
He's coming on the podcast, so I'm gonna have to ask him about that.
Dude, yes, you should ask him. Like, he is such a genius, man. Like, I would have never, yeah, thought
That's
about something like that.
so when you get in the white room, what's going through your head?
Um, so what's going in my head is so there was this apparently a leak where one person apparently knew where the triangle was, and I don't know, man. So and there was like this hierarchy where like someone knew someone who knew
Oh, okay.
where the line was. And I was like, maybe like, you know, pretty far down the hierarchy of information. So I just knew if I follow this number, he knows where the person is, where, you know, the triangle is.
Hmm.
So usually I like to go with my gut, and my gut was definitely telling me go to number one. because what I thought is in the beginning they're not gonna reveal the hardest thing, and probably they're not gonna reveal the easiest thing. Because I didn't know it was gonna be the line game, you know. So I thought like, hey, line one sounds really good. But then the guy I was looking out for, who apparently knew the leak, went to line four. So I was like, so so a couple of friends and I, we were like, yeah, it's line four. Like, duh, like that's gonna be triangle.
Oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, dude,
All
like,
the people's heads in the back. Oh, see, I was in the front, so I was just like, I'm just picking four. Four is my favorite number. Y'all was going deep into it and following people, and you know that person probably got set up because they found out that they probably were trying to finesse some things. Like, okay, line four, oh, line four, line four, line four, all the way down.
yeah, man. Oh, so you were in the front.
I was the second in line, man. I was in the umbrella line.
Oh my god, yes. Oh man.
My hair is a little different, so if you don't recognize me from the show, that's why. So
Right, man. And dude, honestly, I must say, I did feel very. I mean, maybe we're jumping a little bit here, but like, I must say, I felt very comfortable that you were in the front, because I think you got us the circle, right?
triangle.
You you did get us the triangle. And like in the because we were all standing there, we were like, yeah, he seems charismatic, and like, you know, I thought like you were able to handle the situation very well. So I was like, yeah, man, like I felt pretty comfortable, to
No,
be honest.
I appreciate it. I haven't actually asked people that question. Actually, like if that's been in the umbrella line, is like, how did you feel about me being up there? And
Yeah, man. And dude, I felt good. Like I was like, yeah, this is good. And wait, can you remind me again, like how did that play out? The
so we got in there. I'm gonna pull this whole thing out and play by play ESPN on my
yes,
Instagram soon, but
hit
I'll give
me.
you the condensed version. So we get up there and we go inside, and everyone tells me some. I can't remember. I think Netta, he's in our line as well, and he's
Yeah.
like, you need to be the speaker. You need to control. You need to show your authority. You need to make sure that you're the one in power, and then no matter what, don't let them get a word in. And I was like, dang, it's like that. And he's like, that's what you got to do. And I was like, all right. And so I get in there, and I'm like the first one to talk, and they don't show this, but I'm telling like, look, y'all, whoever was arguing about the last shape, which was the last two shapes, which was star and umbrella, then you
Uh-huh.
guys are gonna be have the ones to kind of figure that out. Our people in our lines had their hands on their shapes first, and that's what we should go by. We should go based off what the last people did in the first group, as uh, as there are predecessors. So we're following, you know, what lines they picked, and our line picked circle. So I'm like, that's how it is, and that's my mindset, and I'm sticking to it. I'm doing Netta told me, this is what we're doing. No, 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 we should go by whatever line you're in. That's what order it goes. I'm like, no, we're not doing
No,
that.
we're not doing that.
That's not how we rock. And I'll do anything but that. And so they're like, let's race. And I was like, okay. And everyone's like, okay, agree, agree, agree. Everyone agreed on the race. And I'm like, bet I'm at least getting something. And so I get to triangle first, as you can clearly see. Everyone sees it. You can see on the other guy's face that I got there first. Then he moves to star. And then the woman, Laverne, comes up to triangle. She's like, I'm not leaving here. And I was like, what? How are you? We all agreed on this. And I'm
Yeah.
like, the clock is like less than a minute at this point. So I'm just like, all right, I'll go to circle. You got to go. He's like, I'm not moving. And so I walk past triangle, and I was like, look, you were last in the race. Like, I'm not leaving. I'm willing to die here. So I was like, okay, I'll go to star. And I'm like, look, man, I came all the way down from freaking circle and triangle down here. Somebody got to make a sacrifice, because I made my sacrifice. You know, like, I'm not moving. And I was like, at this point, I was like, forget it, man. I'm willing to die. Y'all want to do this? Let it happen. And I was not moving from the triangle or the star at that point. I was, you see me in the show, you see me count 5, 4, 3, and I'm just at that was it. And so I did what I could. I offered my advice. Nobody would listen to it. I played the game somebody else wanted to play. They didn't want to follow the rules there. So I feel like I did everything I possibly could. And y'all want me to keep following y'all little rules. It's not happening like that, coach. That's not how I go. That's not how I, operate. So unfortunately, that's what had to happen. I would have picked the umbrella last 5 seconds. Like, I was going to run there anyways, but everyone in line, that's the only thing that was going through my head in there was like, why didn't you? Everyone's like, why didn't you just pick umbrella? Like you were gonna be out. I was like, look, y'all. When everyone in your line is looking at you like a scared puppy dog, and they're about to be Mufasa falling off the cliff if you don't make this right decision, then it's hard to do that. I know it's not a
Wow,
team game, but at that point it kind of was to a certain extent.
man,
And I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't do it.
dude, like respect, bro. Like that's
That's
crazy.
right. I was not about to be that person. Looking back, maybe now that I see Spencer Umbrella's getting all this clout for picking an umbrella, I was like, maybe. But hindsight 2020, I stand by my decision every day. Don't look in the past to try and say I would have did this. I would have done the same thing. So
Yeah,
that's mine. But after the first person goes out, second person goes out, myself, and you end up getting umbrella. What's kind of how you feeling after that?
dude. So, um, obviously the the morale of the team was like completely down and shattered. Like because we were all very pissed because we formulated the perfect game plan. The game plan was stick with 4-3-2. He has too big of an ego. He will never get eliminated here. Like I know because he was crying in the beginning. Like
What?
so he was crying. He was like, no, no, I can't do this. So I was like, we were all like, fuck.
Oh, you mean 299?
299. Yeah, he was crying in the beginning. Sorry. And we were like, dude, let yourself get bullied. Just stick with 4-3-2. In the last 3 seconds, he will move to umbrella. Just be like, hey,
No,
I'm just gonna
see what
shut
happened.
up. I'm not gonna do anything else. I'm just gonna stand here. You guys do whatever you want, but I'm not moving from here. And if we get eliminated, so be it. But then we all saw what happened. So it was not like that we got the umbrella, but the way we got the umbrella. So at
Yep.
that point, we were very, very angry and mad at him. And like, yeah,
Yeah, no, I definitely hear that. Like, it's not that you got the umbrella. It's just the way it went down. That's the thing I hear the most. I mean, I talked to a lot of umbrella lines since, and it's like they don't mind it. Everyone had to get a shape regardless, but it's just the way things transpired, and you wanted at least a chance. And so that's
exactly.
yeah. And Spencer's one of my best friends, and I've talked to him a million times about it, and even at the afterwards. And I love you, Spencer, but the narrative's changed a little bit in your reasoning. Um, but I know you've had some time. He's had some time to think about what happened and kind of, formulate his true feelings past it after the initial kind of like thought process. Because when you're in there, you're panicking, like anything's happening. And I know I did say before I went in there, I told him, just whatever you do, don't get out. I told him that whatever you do what you got to do. I did say that to him, and I don't know if
Mhm.
that had any influence on his decision. I didn't. I mean, when I'm out and I notice that nobody else is eliminated, I knew something in my gut told me he picked the umbrella. I'm like, I know he picked it because, and I know the feeling being in there. Nobody except the first group and the second group and the third group know the feeling of being in there and the pressure. Honestly, the third group didn't even have any pressure because Spencer kind of like folded, but the first group and the second group know the feeling of like angst and anxiety and
Mhm.
pressure that it's on to where we all fell on our sword, you know? And it's a different kind of feeling, man, when you got 50 people in their line
Man,
hoping for a certain outcome. So
I
that's what
can
my
only imagine. Like, that must be a lot of weight on your shoulders. Wow, it's
if
crazy.
I pick umbrella and I make it through, I'm probably getting voted out anyway. Probably vote like you picked umbrella, you gotta go.
You gotta go, dude. Like, so
You know.
so the thing is, we were last, right? So we were already pretty exhausted, but also very tense, because like, it was a big challenge coming up, and I wish I would have practiced once, dude. Honestly, because I play a lot of instruments. Like, I have very good fine mobility with my fingers. So like, I was like, hey, maybe I could do this. So Manu 191, he was Italian, and one of the security guards were Italian, and she was telling him in Italian like, hey, I can't tell you much, but like, be careful because they're very fragile. So that's what was passed down to us. So we were like, passed on to us. So we were like, okay, okay, it's fragile. So the game starts, and in the first 5 minutes, I haven't made any progress. I'm just scratching this thing like super super scared and like timidly, and then I hear like Neta is eliminated. So I was like, wait, what? I'm not even close to the I'm in the vicinity of getting eliminated because like I'm. So I was like, honestly, I could have went for a poop and come back. It would have been I would have made the same progress. I didn't make any progress. So I was like, holy cow! Like I definitely need to pick up my pace. So I get this thing out. I just start licking the hell out of it. That's what she said. And then people are getting eliminated left and right, and I'm like licking the life out of it. And then scratching, 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 licking, 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 and then there was like 30 minutes, 30 seconds left, and I was slowly feeling my hand everywhere. So I was like, oh wait, I'm like very close. And so there was the theory going on that if you have the umbrella and you have the final pieces, when you take it out, don't take out the bottom part, the top part first, because otherwise it'll snap in half. Because the bottom part has to hold the whole weight. So do the top first and then the bottom. So then I'm scratching, scratching, scratching. 5 seconds left, and then the left top piece falls off. So I'm just left with the last two pieces, and I just have to get them off. And then I panicked, and I just took off the top piece, and then the umbrella broke, and I was like, dude, it was so close. And then yeah, I got eliminated, and
They send our friend 9192 to the shadow realm.
exactly to the shadow realm, man. Like,
Gosh. So what I've heard a lot is people, the main reason people thought Umbrella was doable. Like they're like, okay, it's possible to get done, but we panicked and we rushed a little bit at a certain point.
uh, like
Yeah.
seriously, like if I could do it again, I would get it done in 6 minutes. Not to sound cocky, but like honestly speaking, 100%. And also, they split it up in like 4 takes. So why there were more people passing is because we were allowed to give them tips. So we were the first ones.
Only 4 people made it. Well, 4 people, but I'm gonna just keep it at that.
Really, only 4 people made it.
Yeah.
Really? No, I think it was like
Roughly. It wasn't 10. I know that for a fact. It was
because I
between
know
4 and 6.
I think in my group it was like one person, and after that I think like another 6 people or so made it. And
Umbrella.
yeah, it was Saeed made it, the Tayo made it, the doctor made it, one girl made it, and the guy with the long hair made it, and I think one more person made it. It was like
Like
6 people, and
6 or 7.
yeah, that's like 6 people. And then because we figured out a lot of saliva was the trick. And but yeah, did you practice before?
No, I did not practice. I kind of wanted to go in there and experience everything for the first time. I didn't want to look. What's gonna happen was happen, and I didn't want to. I could have ordered Dalgona cookies if I wanted to, but I wasn't really. I was like, I can do whatever they put in front of me. I don't need practice. So that's just how I operate, though. Like I didn't
Okay, okay.
practice with this podcast, and I just got to start it up. Well, great. You know.
I see.
I'm kind of just like, trial by error type of dude. But
Mhm.
unfortunately, our friend, this is the end of our journey for player 192. He had a good run, you know. He made it past over halfway point and, almost finished the umbrella, the hardest shape. So you got to give yourself props. And then I think anyone who didn't get out, who got out on umbrella, definitely should keep their head up and their morality high because they were just dealt the unlucky stack of cards. And as we can see as the show going
For
on, it's a
sure.
lot of right place, right time.
Yeah,
And that's the name of this Squid Game, to be honest.
100%. Wait, do you actually know who won?
Look, we on live on this podcast. We
We
know.
are live on podcast. You have to tell me later when we get.
We'll talk about the outcome later. Um,
Yes.
well, that's a topic for another day. We got to finish watching the episodes first. Um, But yeah, so when you get eliminated and you're about to you're on the plane back home, what's kind of going through your mind once you get back home?
So I just had the same thought since just getting eliminated, and in my mind I'm going like, how am I gonna make these 4.56 million? Like, if I'm not gonna get it through this show, like, what's the play? Like, how am I gonna make it? And that was like, just going in my mind. And honestly, I had this one book that I was reading. It was called The Money Mindset, or something like the Lola Principle, something like that. And it was talking a lot about like gratitude, and like it's too much to be, to explain it in a few sentences. But like, that one helped me a lot to use the frustration that I had as fuel, so I could, just really go hard and grind more. So when I arrived, I felt like I got superpowers, literally, because so I forgot my keys in London, so I had to stay at a friend's place who happened to have a birthday party. And I was there, and I felt like, wow, I have no problem whatsoever talking to everyone there. And I remembered everyone's name like that. I was like, wow, that's unusual. And then the next day, her vacuum cleaner was broken, and she didn't have a screwdriver, and I was determined to just fix it. So without thinking, I go to the neighbor, I ring the door, and I'm like, hey, do you guys have a screwdriver? I come back with a screwdriver, and she's like, dude, you really go after what you want, huh? And I was like, honestly, I wasn't even thinking about it. I was just like, this is the problem, and I want to solve it. So, I would definitely say like it has taught me a lot of great lessons to just, just go for it. And being put under such stress levels, normal life seemed kind of easy to me, which was a great gift. And I have ever since taken this fuel and this energy, and yeah, been hustling very hard and working on my projects, and so I would definitely say I learned a lot from the experience, and I could take home a lot of, yeah, things, assets, which are not tangible, but like in my mind, and so I am very thankful for the whole experience, all the people that I met, and the lessons that I learned. Well, did you feel anything similar to that?
Yeah, no, I mean, when I got back, I was kind of depressed a little bit just because I was like you, the mind on the money, and I ain't got the money, and so.
I,
But
I mean,
once
I,
that
I
like,
was also depressed too a little bit.
yeah, I was very like I needed some therapy. No,
Dang.
I think I was thinking the same thing. Like, okay, how am I gonna get this $1 million? And I was thinking of everybody I met in the show and all the things they were doing and all the things they did, and what I learned from most people. And I was like, let me just start from the ground up on something else additional. I mean, I was already doing what I like to do, like I'm an actor, but I wanted to do
Uh-huh.
other things as well as create my own stuff. And I saw these people with their own businesses and their own way of they could be in Africa and they could still take care of their business. And I wanted to have something like that. And definitely that put me on a good mindset of like, okay, we got to start somewhere to get this thing going where we want to go. And that's when I started doing my content creation. I started a TikTok. I started doing YouTube. I started really creating my own lane and my own path, thanks to the people in the show. To be
Hmm.
100% truthful, like if it wasn't for the people in the show that I met, then I probably wouldn't even be doing this podcast. To be honest with you,
Wow.
they kind of taught me. I was already an outgoing person, but they taught me how to kind of get out of your own way to a sense and put yourself out there more. One thing about social media and whatnot is I post and whatnot, but I was never like the pun to post every day or just post a lot or just expose yourself that much to the world. And so these people that do that, I mean, if I met somebody from my hometown who lives makes a living off of doing content, and I just was like, what?
Wow.
Like, I couldn't believe it because I see these people online, you see them, but they don't seem real until you meet
Uh-huh.
them in person. They just seem like, oh, they must have already had a bunch of money to get started and whatnot. But no, that wasn't the case for him. He just kind of just started doing one thing and next, and it built. Obviously it wasn't built in a
Yeah.
day. I was like, wow, like you inspired me to start this stuff, and yeah, that's kind of my mindset. Is like you just keep hustling, keep doing what you do, but also find a means to grow
Uh-huh.
what you're doing.
And also with the social media, I feel like one of the big blocks are like, what are my close friends gonna think about, what I'm posting and stuff like that. Even though, because also a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, she's a big influencer, and she's like, dude, how can you care about such trivial matters? Like, if you want this, you can't give a damn about what your friends might think. She was like, and it was nice seeing the mind of a professional. You know how they were like, of course you don't care. Like you can't think about stuff like that. You know, you just have to do it. And um yeah, I mean, because I also am like hustling social media a lot at the moment, and um because it is a very very big opportunity, which I feel like we're at the end of the gold rush. You know, like now is still a time where you can grow organically, but like I feel like the door is gonna be closed in like
Yep.
2 years max, like tops 2 years. Like, so I think it's now or never if you want to, build something organically. So I feel like yeah, it's not too late for us. And
100%. I mean, especially like doing the show, this is the kind of time to kind of, get a new audience,
for
and
sure.
put some things out. And I tell people like, you might not like the show the way the outcome is, but maximize this time because people want to hear from us. People want to hear our stories and learn more about the people because a lot of people want to do the show. A lot of people want to do the show and they
Facts.
want to know everything about the show to the smallest thing that we ate to how what we did when we woke up in the morning to somebody we met to everything and
Mhm.
whatever you're trying to do, if it's music, if it's content, if it's OnlyFans, whatever it is,
Yeah.
people want to be involved with you and want to hear the story. I don't care if you were the main character with the mother and son to where you were somebody who got eliminated red light, green light. Everybody has a perspective, and I think that's
Yeah.
important.
Can we talk about the food, please? How terrible was the food? Like, dude, like,
It
what was
was
the first thing? Because like it was for the people who don't know, like the food looked fine, but it was just not salted. There was no seasoning whatsoever. So we would get like what looked like flavored rice. It was like colored, and it looked like very flavorful, and then it was like just nothing, bland as fuck. Am I allowed to swear here? Because in Germany you are, but
yeah,
like
you're fine. You're fine.
dude, it was so fucking bland. Like I was dying inside there. I was just like, please, can I have some salt? Like, I never missed salt this much. Like,
Yeah, no, it was down in the dumps, coach. I mean, look, it was some slop made. No, I won't say slop, but it was some food made without anything on it. I was honestly okay with it. It wasn't the best, but I was so hungry I was willing to eat anything at that point.
yeah,
So I was dealing with it fine. Just the portions were very small on my
dude,
end.
the portions were terrible. And once we had the meatballs, there were people who were getting like 8 meatballs, and then there were people who had 3 meatballs. And I was like, dude, this is not fair. This is not fair. Like,
Hey, survival of the fittest, coach. You had to grab two when you had to choose.
did you grab 2 at any point?
Maybe.
Maybe I did too. Who knows?
I mean, look, I'm hungry, and I was like, look, somebody got to eat, and it's somebody gonna be me.
Yeah, yeah. Like,
Ooh, man.
dude, I also did sometimes. Maybe
We had to do what we had to do in there.
we
That's
had to
all.
do what we had to do. Like like the portions were for the people watching. Man, the portions were like tiny. I'm a very skinny dude. I don't eat a lot of calories, but that was in no way, shape, or form sufficient for my skinny ass, man. Like,
Yeah, it was getting real in there, and not in a fun way. But
yeah.
but hey, man, we gotta get up out of here. But man, I really do appreciate you coming through, Tile. You are a light in the world. I can tell you really an ambitious, hustler mentality, and you also are a good person too at heart because you have morals and values that you stood ground on no matter what, and that's gonna take you a lot of places, man. For the people who want to follow you or find you on social media, tell them where they can find you at.
So it's TYO.SINMALA. So Tayo.Simala. I make music and create stuff on TikTok, which is in German. But like, yeah, check out my music, check out my IG, and also huge shout out to you, DeAndre. It was a really nice it was really nice reminiscing about the experience, and thanks for doing this. And I hope the show blows up, man, and you also get to fulfill your second career as a content creator. And yeah, man.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, man. This is just, a little small thing that I wanted to do. Squid Games ain't gonna last forever now. This is, show's dang near halfway over because there's only 3 weeks that it comes out. But yeah, I wanted to, give the people a voice and kind of, expand on what I have an expertise in. I feel like I'm a Squid Games encyclopedia. How many different people I'm talking to and the things and going on. So
Mm.
definitely it's fun. I enjoy it too. So I appreciate that a lot, man. And hopefully when I get back overseas, we can kick it, man. Because I got to come to
Dude,
one of your DJ sets.
100%. Like, let me know when you're in Berlin. Like, hit me up. Yeah, I'll show you around and we're gonna have a great time here.
All right,
So, yeah.
bet. Berlin, one of my I was in Frankfurt this past summer, so I'm gonna definitely make it to Berlin next time I
Ooh,
get out there. So,
sick, sick, nice. Yeah, definitely let me know
all
when you're in
right,
town.
100%. Well, till next time, y'all. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Peace and blessings. We out you.